Thanks in no small part to the popularity of Max Verstappen, the Netherlands is back on the F1 calendar. So welcome to the boisterous atmosphere of Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. 4 lefts and 10 rights make up the 14 corners of the narrow and demanding Zandvoort circuit, with plenty of peaks and valleys over the course of the 2.6-mile lap, which will demand absolute concentration from our drivers here today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Antonelli, Norris, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Piastri, Hadjar, Gasly and Arvid Lindblad, Colapinto, Behrman, Esteban Ocon and Albon, Lawson, Sainz, Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Bortoleto and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, the First Lady of World Motorsports, Naomi Schiff. Now, Ant, I could go on for hours, and I probably will, about the atmosphere here today, the sea of orange, this Dutch Formula One festival. But once you're in the cockpit, once the visor's down, what are the challenges for the drive?
Well, what an incredible circuit. It feels just like a roller coaster. This track has some extreme banking that if you walk the track, you almost feel like you're horizontal. It also has some blind corners, so make sure you're not looking at the nose of your car and that you're looking far ahead. And if you look far enough past the Orange Army, you might even spot the beach.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, so overtake is active. Overtake mode active. You're going to get more power from the hybrid system. You know how it works. Just use boost on the next long straight to get your way past. Okay, overtake enabled. Okay, so with the new power units, make sure you're lifting and coasting before corners, and consider not always going full throttle. Try combining lift and coast into braking with boost out of corners and see if you can find a good balance. Tyre condition still looking good. Okay mate, boost mode if you need it, boost mode if you need it. Seeing a lot of tyre deg now. We've got a new strategy if you want to take a look at it. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Right, let's go, come on! That stop wasn't great, we've lost some time there. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Gap to your teammate ahead, 17.3 seconds. Yellow flag. green flag. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 7.0 seconds. You're running low on ERS. Reminder that you can play around with ERS modes in the MFD or lift sometimes and ease onto the brake pedal for some manual recharge. The car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind running hard tyres. Okay, so remember, when you get within a second, you'll get access to extra power from the hybrid system in overtake mode. Isaac's in the pits. That's Isaac in the pits. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Okay, we've lost a position. That's us down a place. Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip any time now. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 1.5 seconds. Right, you've got boost mode available now. Use it if you want to. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 3.8 seconds. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's what it is. We're just too slow, so it's impossible to keep them behind.
We've seen a brilliant display of the Russell hustle. It's George Russell who wins.
And they led every single lap of the race. It was a light to flag victory, and that is total dominance.
We had drama from start to finish, but in the end, there was only ever one that could take that top spot. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell.